in terms of legacy, I know you got more and more and more, fighting you. You still going. You got more years to do what you're doing. But how would you like to see this? I guess implemented because you have different states with different laws and different situations. How can we implement this at least for the next generation? The children that's in school. Do they have to have classes or workshops,
No,
or does
no,
the government
no,
have to?
no,
Uh
no.
huh.
We have to educate the educators. We have to have people like you or people like me or people who are just out of step with society get copies of the Peters projection map, take it to the school and say, we expect you to put this map up in every classroom in this school because the Peters projection map tells the truth. The Mercator projection map does not tell the truth, and it once again, using the Mercator projection map, we have insight. No, what's the word I want? We put religion into the schools. People don't realize we have laws against church and state. We have to have separation of church and state in this country, or we do. We don't any longer. After Dwight Eisenhower was president, when I was just graduated from high school, he became president of the United States. And because the Knights of Columbus lobbied their congressmen to get the words "under God" inserted into the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, now every child in school has to stand up in the morning, or those teachers who expect them to say the pledge, and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag with the words "under God" in it. I believe under God, indivisible. People, they put the words "under God" before the word "indivisible," which automatically divided people between those who believed in God and the God that we believe in, or those who believed in another God or didn't believe in God at all. We inserted religion into the school by putting the words "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance, the American flag. That needs to come out. And in case you think I'm just being ridiculous, take out a lower dominate. Take out a dollar bill or $5 bill, a $10 bill, I think a $20 bill, any of those. Take one out, look at it, and on the back of it, it says, "In God, in God we trust." That was not on our money until after 1953. We inserted religion into the schools, into our monetary system. People, if you believe in God, you don't have to have a prayer. You don't have to have money, is what you don't have to have. God and money should not be interchangeable. So, those of you who have a bill on which it says, "In God we trust," take out a little tiny ballpoint pen, something with a little tiny whatever, and underneath, "In God we trust," write, "All others pay cash." Now, you see, that makes sense to me. Some people, oh, and it's against the law, so don't do it. But every time you spend a piece of money, say to yourself, "All others pay cash. All others pay cash." People, the words "under God" don't belong in the pledge, and "in God we trust" does not belong on our money. We either have separation of church and state or we don't. And right now, everybody needs to read Anthea Butler's book, White Evangelical Racism. Read it now, because then you will realize that what's happening in this country is an attempt to insert a certain religion into everything we do. It's got to be stopped. I believe in God. But my God isn't an old white man with a long gray beard that looks like Charlton Heston playing Moses. And I think God is a spirit and has neither gender nor color. And because I would say I believe in God the Mother in church, the minister came out to my house one day after I'd been going to that church for many years and visited with me, and we had a nice visit. And just before he got ready to leave, he was standing on the lower level, and he said, "Mrs. Elliott, could you do me a favor?" I said, "Well, sure, I'd like to. If I can, I certainly will." He said, "Could you find another place to worship on Sunday morning?" I said, "Well, yes, I suppose I can, but why would you ask that of me?" He said, "Because our parishioners don't like the words you use during the service." I said, "Oh, they don't like it when I call God she." "No, they don't, and they shouldn't have to love that." I said, "You're right, they should." He said, "You've got a church next door," and we do. There's a little Baptist church right next to our house that it was closed. We bought it several years ago and turned it into a guest house. But he said, you got a church next door to your house. Why don't you start a church of your own? I said, maybe I will. Would you like to join? No, I don't want to join your church. And he turned and he slammed out of the door just as fast as he could. He literally ran to his car, jumped in, and tore off down the road. I think he thought the devil was pursuing him. I looked in the mirror to be sure my horns weren't showing, and they weren't, and I didn't want to check my tail, but he was absolutely terrified. I thought, now there's a good example. And I was laughing. I couldn't help it. I just stood there and laughed because he's taller than I am. He's younger than I am. He's educated in the Methodist ways. And he doesn't know. He doesn't know that Jesus was an Ethiopian Jew. And he doesn't believe the verse in the Bible where it says that Jesus had kinky, woolly hair and feet of bronze. You see, his Jesus is pale faced and light brown hair, medium hair, and looking up. Well, you see, Jesus knew that heaven isn't up there. Heaven, that other area, is right here. You just turn the corner into that other dimension. You don't go up and you don't go down. You just go into that other dimension. And I know that's true because I have a picture of a lady whose place is in the church. And she has been dead for probably 70 years. But my daughter was taking pictures at a meeting we were having there. And she took a picture of the man sitting at the end of the table. And she said to me, Mom, you better look at this. And I looked, and there's a picture of this woman walking behind this man giving the speech. And it's there. You can't deny it. She is there. And she's wearing a frilly blue, long blue dress. It's just, I looked at it and I said, Mary, that's the woman I've been talking to. She said, there it is, Mom. There's a picture of the person you've been talking to. Now, that sounds insane. And I know it sounds insane. But if you let me, I don't have time to go back and get it now, but I'll get a picture of that and send it to you, email it to you if you want to see it. Because I think everybody should see it. I think everybody should know that Jesus knew that he's looked straight across. You don't have to look up. We've been in outer space. We're sending a bunch of people to the moon again. So we know what's out there. But heaven, that other dimension is right here on this earth. And I believe that because I have a picture that proves it. Now, do you still want to talk to me?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely appreciate you. You sharing so much information. We went past the time. We supposed to do 30 minutes, so I know you got a lot going on. I know you got things to do. But for the viewers that want to learn more about what you're doing and what you have done, do you have a book? Do you have a website? Do you have social media? They want to check out the shirts you got coming out. How can they show support?
Well, before you do that, you need to realize that the idea of the word race to mean a specific group of people came out of France in 1580. That recently. People who say this has been going on forever don't know what they're talking about. This all started during the Spanish Inquisition when a man named Torquemada went around killing people who he thought were Christians in order to turn Christians into Catholics. He killed those he thought weren't Christians. And then somebody told him after he'd killed almost 2,000 people, you know, a lot of the people you killed were Christian. So then he realized you can't tell what a person's religion is by looking at them. So he had to find a way to decide who deserved to live and who deserved to die. And he named the lighter skinned people white because white is the color of purity and goodness. He made the darker skinned people black because black is the color of savagery and evil. And he set us upon this path that we have been walking ever since the 1500s. Now, would you say it's time to stop it?
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
I think it's time to stop it. I think people have to realize that it hasn't been going on forever. It is, and I don't want anybody to tell me it's a social construct. Psychologists and sociologists say that it's a social construct because that's 4 or 5 syllables. Social construct, 4 syllables. They like that. There's an easier way to say it. Instead of calling it a social construct, call it what it is: a damned lie. The idea of separate races is a damned lie. There's only one race on the face of the earth, and that's the human race. And we are all members of it. So thank you very much for letting me go on and on and on. You
Oh
know,
no. It's an honor. It's definitely an honor.
well,
Yeah.
I'm delighted that you would call me, and I'm delighted that you would listen, and I hope other people listen.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, do you have a website or anything like that where they can follow you, or?
If you're going to send me threatening letters, don't bother. I can just destroy those. That doesn't take long to delete those. But if somebody wants to know how to find materials about this, go to my website, which is Jane at janeelliot.com. And the person who runs that website will let me know that you contacted that website, and then I'll contact them. Because I don't need these threatening letters. That's a waste of my time, and it's a waste of my website.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. This has been a honor. I'm still processing a lot of the information that you gave me, but I'm definitely going to go back and do my homework and try to,
Yep.
move forward as well. And I'm sure the
Get
viewers will do the same.
If you want all those questions answered, get the book uh, Shades of Brown. Somebody, Todd Mealy, has written a book about the blue-eyed, brown-eyed exercise and me, and it's called Shades of Brown. And it answers any question anybody might have. Now, I don't get anything out of this book except the satisfaction of being able to say somebody took the time to do the research to write a book about this exercise. That took a lot of time and a lot of work, and he did a good job. There's too much context, but you get a whole lot of information out of that book. And if you really want to know, buy the book. Or you can buy the book that's pictured up there. I wrote a book called, where is it? Over here. I wrote a book called A Collar in My Pocket. It's short, it's easy, it's cheap. Buy A Collar in My Pocket. And you can get that from Mary at janeelliot.com. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. I
Oh,
appreciate
thank
you. And
you.
I want to thank the viewers too for tuning in. It's been a phenomenal episode.